All right, can everybody on the Zoom meeting hear us? Nod, raise your hand. Have you admitted everybody yet, Jesse?
Yes, I should have everybody online. And, all right, if we could check to see who online, oh,
Okay, it says here I'm waiting to be
Yep.
let in yet. All right, can everybody hear me?
Oh, your microphone's off, up there.
yep, Jimmy, you're muted yet?
Oh, am I still muted?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's try it one more time. All right, can everybody hear me now? All right, thanks. Okay. All right, the meeting has been called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for their attendance. And if the minutes can reflect the roll call of the various trustees, department heads, and officials, let's move on to item 3. Item 3 is a motion for the approval of the 4/21/2020 Village Board meeting minutes and file the 12/12 Community Development Authority, the 1/29 Police and Fire Commission, the 2/25 Plan Commission, the 3/12/2020 Architectural Review Board meeting minutes as presented.
I will make a motion.
So, we have a motion from Amy. Tom will take the second. Okay. Motion and second, as always, comments, questions, clarifications on the minutes.
Yes, I have a few on the CDA ones from December 12th. The time there under closed session was 5:33. And gas station is spelled incorrectly. And then on the second page, 5:58 instead of 6:58. Since the meeting ended at 6.
Any other comments or questions? Motion second with those clarifications, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item 4. Anybody either in the audience or online wishing to be heard on a non-agenda item? Let's move forward. Item number 5, business presented by the president. We have one item. It's an item that was discussed at CDA, but it is a significant development, and progress has been made, and I just wanted to have just a quick little overview, not only for review for the board, but also to get it on video for the public. So Jesse, do you want to kind of, do you want to give us the update on where we're at with Clark Station?
Certainly. Very high-level view. We are looking at 2 separate agreements that the Community Development Authority entered into. One particular agreement was with the Department of Natural Resources under State Statute 75.106. In essence, that agreement called for the village to set forth its intention to environmentally remediate the property, and then by statute, then all of the encumbrances, being any liens or what have you, are forgiven. So with that, that's one piece of the puzzle. The second piece would be an agreement we entered into with Ozaukee County, which helped kick off the foreclosure process and the CDA's intent there, and request to have past property taxes waived. So the combination, the cumulative effect of those 2 agreements are for set the path that the CDA will be able to take title of this Clark Station property through the foreclosure process, free and clear of any liens or encumbrances or past taxes, with the intention that we will be environmentally remediating the property.
All right, thank you. Again, it's an item that is probably one of our last projects, near to our last projects in TID 3, which is a downtown project list. Anybody have any questions on this project? All right, so it's FYI only. Let's move on to item 6, resolutions, ordinance, action items. Item A is a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $10,885,040 $8,544 sewage system revenue bonds, series 2020, and providing for other detail and covenants with respect thereto. That is a resolution, so it requires an offer, motion, and a second.
I'll offer.
We have an offer,
Motion.
we have a motion,
Second.
and we have a second. It's an item that has been discussed at length. This is technology that replaces older, out-of-date technology. Tom Krieger probably knows the most, but this has been discussed, but for the newer trustees, Jesse, you want to give a high-level overview?
Certainly, this is all part of the borrowing process in which a resolution needs to be authorized to actually go to market and issue these bonds for sale in the amount noted. So as Village President Brunkwell pointed out, this is to construct a new headworks building and improve the treatment plant's infrastructure. So again, this is part of that process. This is the ending point, so to speak, before we can go to market to issue those bonds and obtain the borrowing.
Amber, I see you're online. Can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
Larry's on as well.
Okay.
We should be. I think there's.
Yep, Larry is on.
Amber, can you hear us?
Answer questions as well.
Okay, well, is Larry there?
Well, I can answer questions on the borrowing, but
No,
not
I'm more
the
interested in,
project.
just again, for the newer trustees that may have not been involved in the project, what is this technology, why are we doing it, et cetera? Just a high level.
What's your question?
Just a little bit of a background story of what this technology is replacing, why are we doing it, just for the newer trustees?
Sure. Well, the existing headworks facility is undersized. It's inefficient, it's very old and outdated. It requires a lot of maintenance to keep it running. And even if it were maintained, it really wouldn't serve us very well with how inefficient it is. So this new facility will improve screening, degridding, and it will improve our influent pumping efficiency.
Okay, questions for Larry or the board? Yes?
I actually just have one. I just want to clarify with Mike that this is just to the authorization to issue the bond. It's got nothing to do with who's handling the bond. And you, because I want to make sure that I can vote on this as opposed to the bond. The person, the company who handles the bond is Qualls & Brady.
Sure. We did utilize Qualls & Brady again for our bond counsel. It's a requirement by the state.
Right.
But this is considered a private placement with the state of Wisconsin. We're not going out for open bids. They
This
require
is
the
just
loan-
the authorization to actually.
This is authorization to actually borrow the money through the Clean Water Fund loan
Right,
program.
and this portion has nothing to do with who's handling the bond.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on this item? Okay, we have an offer, motion, a second, all in favor? Any opposed? That motion passed, that resolution passes. Move on to item B. It's a motion to approve the modifications to the, let me see if I can get it directly off of the item. And it's a motion to approve the modifications to the liquor license renewals for the July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 license year, and payment being due for renewals by August 31st, 2020.
I'll make the motion.
Motion? Motion is second by trustee Krieger. Looks like, so we have some unique little opportunities here to work with our hospitality, and wanted to know if you would like to add some color to this particular.
I would like to be able to help our establishments. I know a lot of them have been struggling with being closed for the past 2 months, and hopefully by giving them an extension of payments to be due for 3 months, it will help them, give them an opportunity to get back on their feet.
Okay, so basically it's a, I don't know if this is, if you came up with this one, or is this something that we saw someplace else?
I came up with it and verified that it was legal to do through the legal municipality.
All right, well, nice job. Very, very thoughtful. Questions on this item?
I just want to make a comment that I thought it was nice of a citizen to comment about that and to send some of us an email that he thought you went above and beyond on that. So thank you for that.
Okay. All right, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item C is a report of the Plan Commission. Item 1, item 1 is a motion for the approval for a petition to rezone 6.515 acres of land located west of Port Washington Road on the north side of Hunters Lane from A3 agricultural holding to MFR1 medium density multifamily residential be approved.
I will make a motion.
Motion?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Jessica, high level? Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
So this rezoning is just to allow the Woodside Prairie adult autistic housing development to move forward. The rezoning request is consistent with our comprehensive plan, and the Plan Commission obviously is recommending approval and did take action on the other items relevant to this site.
Okay. Questions on this item? Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 2 is resolution for approval of a resolution for certified survey map with right-of-way dedication requested by Bob Tillman for land on the southwest corner of Hickory Street and North Green Bay Road be adopted. And that is a resolution. Offer. We have an offer from trustee Krieger. We have a motion.
Second.
And we have a second. Again, Jessica, 30 seconds.
So the village has taken some action items on this property just south of the municipal services facility site on Green Bay Road. Last year, we did the rezoning and a concept plan. Now the property owner is back for a certified survey map, and they did receive other approvals from the Plan Commission to finally move forward on the site. So this is a 3-building, 18-unit townhome project. It's going to be starting soon.
Questions on this? Offer motion second, all in favor? Any opposed? That motion passes, resolution passes. Move on to item 7, department and officers reports. We have a good representation of staff tonight. Anything that you wish to ask them while they're online or in the room? Jesse, any updates for you?
Just that we are watching very closely. As you may have heard on the news, the governor's Stay Safer at Home order is being challenged before the state Supreme Court tomorrow. We are waiting to see what impact that has based upon the decision the Supreme Court makes. Do they waive it in its entirety? Do they maintain it in place? Do they come down to the decision of some other iteration? So that said, I did start the discussions with department heads to start thinking about what measures they would need to take to keep their front counter areas and their staff safe. Assuming if we have to swing open the doors tomorrow, what does that mean to us? How can we do that responsibly to keep not only our staff safe, but also residents safe coming in to handle business? So discussions at a staff level have started. We are looking to make arrangements. It will be a stepped process to open our doors. Regardless of what that decision is coming out of the Supreme Court at the end of this month, the order expires, and so we need to be ready for that. So we're having those discussions, and what measures come out of those, we don't know yet, but we are waiting to see what happens tomorrow with the Supreme Court.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else for staff?
Yeah, John Hanson, how is the curbside library working?
He's muted.
He's muted.
A lot of backlog, a lot of people that have had things on hold for several weeks, and it's been well received by pleased customers, and so it's going well.
Thank you.
Good. Nice. Anything else? All right, let's move forward. Licenses, we don't have any presented. Let's move on to item 9, report of the bills. Entertain a motion for the approval of village expenditures, $126,990.15.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. I saw some back and forth. Thank you very much as far as getting clarifications on the bills. Any further questions on the bills? Mhm.
I just need a little bit more clarification, Jesse, on the uniform issues. So I guess batch 1, page 9, uniform shop of Green Bay for Officer Radke. Did Officer Radke retire?
He did, and again, very similar to other situations where January 1st, the eligibility for uniform allowance renews. So this would be a late coming invoice, depending on when the vendor got it to us. But that said, Officer Radke would have been eligible in 2020 as soon as January 1st hits. That said, he did retire.
Okay.
Or has
Okay.
retired.
Other
Okay,
questions?
so,
Go ahead.
that's a little bothersome to me. And of course, you know that I have a problem with some of the equipment that's put under the uniform allowance. I know you know that, we talked about it before. So the other issue I have is page, let's see, the next one, which is page, I think it's strikers. So that would be batch 2, page 2. The tactical assault carrier, which to me seems like a piece of equipment for some type of weapon. So I have an issue with that also under the uniform allowance. So
Okay.
those are my 2 issues.
When is police union contract come up?
This year. As a matter of fact, we are in the final year of the collective bargaining agreement, which contains very broad language that has been, where uniform allowance under the union contract with this broad language has been instituted as really anything that relates to the uniform. If they have to carry it on them or wear it as part of their duty uniform, whether it be a duffel bag to carry their equipment, a flashlight that they have to carry with them as part of the necessary required equipment, as part of their uniform and duty responsibilities. So it was a very broad interpretation of that very broad language within the contract. So that is where we are today. So there are some of this past practice that we have in place where these purchases are allowable under that past practice. So it is something we've talked about, I know here briefly at a board level, about tightening up, looking into the future, but right now today, that is where we're at under the current language we have and the current past practice that we have.
So, and under the current contract, there is a very small paragraph of maybe 2 sentences that doesn't say all of that in those 2 sentences. It's very general.
It is.
About the uniform allowance.
Right.
Correct.
And in other communities, I know, for the sheriff's office, by example, they only allow clothing that you wear specifically for your job.
Right, and I agree. I think it's definitely something that's gonna have to be part of the language that we're gonna have to.
No guns, nothing like that, that's,
So we're just gonna work that into the language when that negotiation time. I think everybody here is on the same page. That it is a little too broad. Other questions on the bills? All right, motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
1 day on those 2 items, Jesse.
Show 1 nay, that motion passes. Item 10, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion,
I'll second.
motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned, thank you all very much, appreciate your time. How did this format work out tonight? Everybody feel you can hear the conversation, anything that we're missing?